Nessa girl, listen, I couldn't wait to get home to call you, and bitch, you gonna have to pardon me because I'm a little tipsy, because some shit just went down with me at the bank that could have caused me to do one of two things: lose my religion or lose my damn freedom. Listen, I think I was just race-ass at this bank, but I'm not really sure, so I'm gonna have to tell y'all the story and y'all gonna have to help me out. Now, y'all don't know this about me because I don't tell y'all all my business, but do real estate on the side, okay? A couple weeks ago, I did a little real estate transaction for somebody, and I was due a $1,500 check. The person called today and was like, you can go by the office and pick up the check. So I said, I'm gonna go get the check, go have lunch, and I'm gonna take the check to my bank. When I got down there to pick up the check, I realized the check was written on a bank that's around the corner. And you know what? I'm going to leave the bank and I'm going to leave names out of it because I don't want to make this a retaliatory thing. I want to make it a conversational thing. So I said, oh shit, I could walk up here, cash the check, then sit down and have me a glass of wine, have me some lunch or something. Okay, I get to the bank and it's 3 Spanish tellers at the thing. One teller is dealing with a Spanish woman. The other female Spanish teller is dealing with a black man. And then it's an empty guy Spanish teller. I walk up to the teller. The check is already signed. I put my ID on the counter and I hand it to him. It is a $1,500 check in a well-to-do area. So I'm just like, child, this is a petty-ass check compared to what these people used to cash in. So, Spanish daddy get the keying around in the computer. Now, you know, bitch, when your shit about to go through, they just do like this. Bam, 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 scan, enter. Okay? How would you like this? Large or small bills? This bitch did like this. Bam, 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 scan, enter, bam, bam, some more, scan, scan, enter, bam, 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 picked up the telephone. Okay, so now, now, bitch, I'm getting real, like, black with it. Like, bitch, I don't cock back, turn my head to the side like a confused dog because I'm like, ma'am, sir, miss, and everything in between. What is going on? I know like hell you not finna give me a hard time about no $1,500 check that is drawn on y'all bank and I'm just giving you a government issue ID that match. Okay, so then he confer with Spanish fish next to him. So he look over, Spanish fish don't speak English. She get to say, oh, good. Okay, but I'm like, you know what, Q, let it go. Long as you walk out of here with these $1,500, that's all that matters. So then Daddy takes out what looks to be like a carbon copy deposit slip. He get to writing numbers down. Okay, so now I got an attitude, right? But he didn't do anything to me at this point, hasn't said anything to me at this point. So my attitude is all my own and I keep it to myself. Here's where shit goes left. After he write down a whole bunch of digits and I don't know what the digits were, the bitch gonna ask me, what is this check for? So y'all know my internal nigga response wanted to be, none of your goddamn business. And here is why I got an attitude. Granted, I don't work at the bank. Granted, I don't know what the procedure is. Granted, I don't know what the rationale for asking me was. But here's my thing. Whether the check was for babysitting, painting the wall, a refund, or fucking a person who wrote it husband, it's useless information as far as I'm concerned. So I lied to him and said the check was for babysitting. I said it was for a month of babysitting and housekeeping. Now the check was for a real estate transaction. But I just told that lie just for the sake of proving to myself that why the person wrote me the check was inconsequential to his job and none of his goddamn business, okay? Bitch, I'm in the bank that the check was drawn on with the government issue ID with government recognizable U.S. tender. It ain't none of your damn business what the check is for. So now I'm fucking offended, okay? He gets up, walks down to the end, picks up the phone. I don't know who the fuck he calling, but whoever the fuck he calling, it wasn't Tyrone. They didn't answer. Okay, so he comes back, hands me the check back, and it's like, I I can't cash this check because the person who signed is somebody by the name of Giorgio. He's like, I can't get in contact with Giorgio. Okay, I said, so sir, what am I supposed to do? I just got this from the real estate office around the corner. Obviously, you're familiar with the real estate office because you keep using the name Giorgio with me as if I'm supposed to know who Giorgio is, which I don't. Giorgio, I'm assuming, is the broker. The front office girl is who gave me the check. Her name is Lorena. So I said, listen, a young woman by the name of Lorena just gave me this check. He's like, oh, I know Lorena. He says, yeah, she's the front office. I said, so can you not speak to Lorena? She the one who gave me the check. He says, I have to speak to Giorgio. It's the person that signed it. The check is over $500. We have to get authorization from the person on the account. I totally understand and respect that, okay? So then he says to me, and this is what sent me through the roof. He says, well, can't you just take it to your bank? Bitch, I can, but I don't want to, because I'm here, okay? My bank gonna hold it for 3 days. Bitch, I want my money now, okay? Because I was trying to go get me something to eat and go get me an outfit. Nonetheless, that ain't none of your goddamn business. So I said to him, yes, I can take it to my bank, but I don't want to because this bank was closer. Y'all, I'm getting agitated and annoyed, but I know I can't play into the angry black person stereotype. So I said, listen, since you know Lorena, can I call Lorena and get her to say whatever needs to be said to whomever so I can cash this check? He's adamant about giving me a hard time and saying that we need to speak to Giorgio. So I call Lorena. Hey Lorena, this is Quentin Latham. I just picked the check up from you. She's like, oh yeah, what's going on? I said, listen, they need to speak to Giorgio to cash this check for whatever reason. While I'm on the phone with Lorena, I overhear him saying to the Spanish girl next to him, that the check is out of sequence. That my check was written in the 1500s, and when he checks the computer, they're now cashing checks in the 1900s. So yeah, my check is, you know, a couple hundred checks out of sequence. I understand that, and I respect that, and I get from his perspective how that can look odd and fishy. Here is my issue. As the customer, as the person that came in the bank, don't make me feel like I've done something fraudulent with an out of sequence check. I think the first response of the teller should have been in defense of the customer. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are trained to defend and take the position of protecting the account holder first. And I'm okay with that. But I felt as if there was a way that he could have cleared this situation without making me feel like I was doing some Marlo Hampton fraud inside the bank over a $1,500 check. So as I'm on the phone with Lorena and she's like, oh my God, she says, ask him if you can speak to Renee, which is their personal relationship person. And she says, while you try to get Renee, I'm going to get Claudia, who is our manager here, who's got the one-to-one relationship, who cut the check. So we're working simultaneously. So I walk over to him and so while I'm on the phone, he hears me calling out Renee, Claudia. So he's like, oh shit, this boy knows people for real. Let me give him some better customer service. And so you know me, I don't default to racism. I'm not one of those black people that automatically play the race card. So I say to him, you know, I'm not mad with you because I understand this is your job. But it'd be different if I was in here with a $15,000 check. This is a $1,500 check. Y'all know this motherfucker said to me, oh, well, it don't matter because we don't cash $15,000 checks anyway. The most we catch is $5,000. I said, well, a $5,000 check then. So now I gotta check myself because now this motherfucker is being snide. Now you being snide. I've been nothing but nice to you and I've done nothing wrong. So then when he hears me on the phone with Lorena and Lorena calling Claudia and asking me to speak to Renee, Spanish fish next to him is like, maybe you need to go see if Renee can do something. So then he gets up and goes to Renee. He gives the check to Renee. Renee is dealing with a customer. Renee says something to him. All of a sudden, his attitude changed. He comes out and now he's on some, hey sir, I'm sorry, give me 5 minutes or so, Renee will handle you. I hear, and I'm looking in Renee's cubicle while Renee dealing with his customer. He goes through the same protocol this gentleman did. Tried to call the signatory on the bank. He couldn't get a hold of Giorgio, whoever that is. So Renee calls the real estate office. He gets to speak in Spanish with whoever the fuck answered the phone, okay? But I could tell by Renee's demeanor that everything was okay and I was going to be able to get my money. Wine break. Girl, who this calling the line? Okay. Whatever. Oh, let me stop the line. Girl, let me call you back. Okay, so Renee finishes with his client and says, sir, gives me the hands up. He reaches over to the boy to cash the check. I walk over to the counter. Now the boy got a brand new attitude. Sir, how would you like it? Would you like it this? Do you have all that nice customer service shit? And you know what? Y'all, I had a choice to make in that situation. I could have been the ignorant nigger in this predominantly Spanish and white bank, or I could have chose to handle the situation a totally different way. So I got my money from him. I said, I'm just going to deposit this in my bank. Give me 120s and the rest in big bills because I'm just going to redeposit it. He said, would you like an envelope? I did. And I said, thank you and you have a good day. And I also tapped the counter and I said, listen, it's no hard feelings. I get that you were doing your job. I walked my happy ass right back to the lobby area and I looked in Renee's cubicle and I said, Renee, can I speak with you for a second? And he said, what is it in reference to? Because I got somebody. I said, no problem, I'll wait. Now at this point, my bank about to close. I didn't even give a shit because this is a teaching moment and somebody asked finna get school. Renee was like, I will let me deal with this customer. I'll explain to you what happened and we'll talk. So I sat down. 20 minutes later, the black girl walked up and she said, is there something I can do for you? Do you want some water? I said, yes. I said, I'm waiting on Renee. Or better yet, I said, is Renee the manager? She said, no. I said, oh, okay. Well, then I don't need Renee. I need the bank manager. She goes and gets the bank manager. I don't know what she was saying to him. I assumed the manager said, what do he want? And she was trying to explain whatever tidbit she could. Manager, Spanish guy, I walk in. Let me say this. The manager was very customer service oriented and that's all I wanted. I made sure that I walked in and I was docile, I was not rude, and I did not feed into every negative black stereotype that they were expecting me to. Wine break. I walked in. And the first thing I said was, sir, I just had an experience that I think would be a great teaching moment for all parties involved. That's the first thing I said. The second thing I said, I don't want to get this young man in trouble because I do believe he was just doing his job. So what I was doing right there was disarming this bank manager because he was prepared for a race war and that's not what I was going to give him. And I said, what happened? I said, sir, I just found out at the very end of the day that I have been issued an out-of-sequence check that requires some extra levels of verification. I said, but there has to be a more customer-centric way that this young man could have done this without making me feel like I had done something wrong. I said, I just got a check from the real estate office around the corner. When I gave him the check, he was already very skeptical of me from the beginning and then he was dismissive. He said to me after he could not verify the check, can I just take it to my bank? I said, he asked me what the check was for, which was none of his damn business. I said, and then lastly, he got snide with me when I was frustrated and said, it's not as if it's a $15,000 check. I said, sir, I did nothing wrong and I've been nothing but nice. And what I like about the bank manager, because in this moment, I really didn't want anything. I had got my money and I was ready to go eat. I just wanted to be heard. And the bank manager was like, you are absolutely right. And I said, for me, it's not that he had to do his job and get verification, because bitch, I can't pay his bills when he loses his job. I said, but it's the fact that he treated me as if I had done something wrong. I said, then in addition to that, and here is where the bank manager agreed with me. I said, if going to Renee was a possibility, then I'm even more upset that he was so dismissive and basically was like, I don't feel like doing no extra work. Go to your bank or wait till Giorgio can call back. Why didn't he go above and beyond and go to Renee from the get? If Renee is the relationship manager with this particular real estate office, and y'all know Lorena, Giorgio, Claudia, and everybody else from the office, if you know these people, they come in here on the daily, then why did he off rip explain to me that there was an issue with the check? Instead, he treated me as if I'm the one who printed the damn check, like I stole an out of sequence check from them or whatever. The bank manager was super pleasant and was like, Mr. Latham, I thank you for it. I respect that you did it. I like your approach. And he was like, I am going to talk to him and the rest of the tellers about this, because you're right. We've got to treat people better. And just because you're a non-account holder at this bank does not mean you should not be treated. He shook my hand, gave me his card, and I left. Now listen. If when I walked out the bank, that bank manager walked over to that boy and was like, fuck him, I got it, I just pacified him to get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I will say this though, somebody taught him how to be customer service, because when I walked out that bank, I left feeling satisfied. When I walked in there to speak to the manager, I had no real idea of any sort of outcome that I wanted, because I got my money. You know what I'm saying? But I said, you know what? Instead of me being the ignorant nigga in the bank that go to fuck off, that fuck it up for everybody, I said, you know what? Let me disarm him and this stereotype. I didn't even play the race card. And I knew that if I would have been the nigga that showed out in the bank, that it would have messed it up for every black person like me that came behind me that had an issue in that bank. Now listen. Here is what I'm talking to y'all about it for. Was this profiling? Was this a one-off situation? Am I reading too much into it? Was it because I was black? I don't know. I will say this for a fact. It left me feeling like I had done something wrong when all I wanted to do was cash a check. When he asked me what was this check for, that's where things went south for me. Because again, I lied to him and told him it was for babysitting services and housekeeping. And the check was a real estate transaction. That didn't change anything. So don't be asking people what their money is for when it's non-consequential to what the fuck it is you got to do. My check and why the person gave it to me doesn't change that it's legal, doesn't change that it matches the ID, and doesn't change that the account number matches what's in your system. Now listen, when I went to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, them hoes ain't teach me shit about working in the bank. I'm sure one of y'all looking at this video knows blank protocol. Maybe I'm wrong. Is it proper bank procedure to ask somebody why it is an account holder wrote them this check? I'm willing to believe it is not. Okay, it ain't none of your damn business. Why? But I might be wrong, and I'm willing to be corrected if I am. Drop down in the comments and let me know. But based on my experience, y'all, was I being profiled, or am I just reading too deep into this situation? That, for me, is where the gray area is. What I'm willing to answer for my own self is yes. He mistreated me. He didn't treat me with white gloves. And I feel as if he should have. Because there is a way he could have explained to me that the check was out of sequence without making me feel like I'm the one who wrote it out of sequence. My issue is, had he just said to me, Mr. Latham, this check is written out of sequence, it's in the 1500s and they're in the 1900s, I'd have had no problem. I'd have sat my ass down or walked back to the damn office and had somebody come explain it. Again, I don't work for the bank. I overheard him say the out of sequence explanation to the young lady next door. I need my bank people. Is he divulging too much of the client's information if he says to me that the check is out of sequence? I don't know bank protocol. I don't know. All I know is how I felt when I left that motherfucking bank, and I don't feel like I should ever have to feel that way again when I'm going in there and I'm 100% legit. So y'all, as a result of that, I had to go get me a $30 steak lunch, a double margarita. I had to swing by Joe Malone to get $200 in cologne and candles and a glass of Pinot Grigio in here drinking it now. But Nessa girl, I wanted to talk to you about it to see what y'all thoughts are, because this type of thing happens every day. Drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel, and let's discuss if it's ever happened to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna drink my wine and get naked and take me a nasty bath and try to fucking calm my nerves because this bitch just ran up my pressure, and I'll call you later, Nessa girl. Bye.